Loud. All right. Yay. I'm so excited for our guest. She is one tremendous amiga. Oh my God. What can I tell you other than she is a badass, a complete badass. So, welcome, Amiga. Welcome to the Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast. And I am super excited to introduce, well, her real name is Teodora Romero, but she goes by Tia. So let's just call her Tia and give her a warm welcome. And let's just get this badass Latina talking to us about everything about her. I'm just going to share a little bit, just a tad bit, and she's going to take it on from there. So this girlfriend of ours, she is an accomplished professional in dancing. She has choreographed so many dances to so many superstars. Yes, people like Beyonce, like Jennifer Lopez, John Legend, Fergie, Gwen Stefani. Oh my God, many more. I mean, the list keeps going. She's been on VH1, she's been on MTV, she's been all over. And it's just so incredible to have her here. I'll let you know a little bit about how I met her. I met her through this organization called PSI, and PSI is spelled PSI, and it's a personal development organization. And now within that organization, there's several steps to get to where we got to, which is WLS, Women's Leadership Seminar. And for those of you who are not into personal development, let me tell you something. You're not living if you have not experienced what personal development is all about. And I know my girlfriend here, my sister, because we are sisters when we graduate from WLS. Seriously, my sister from another mister, she knows how important it is to have personal development in your life, because we have to draw it into our heart. Yes, we use our minds, but we got to draw into our heart so that we can step forward and own it like the badass Latina that we are destined to be, and be unapologetic about it. So without further ado, I would love to welcome my girlfriend here, Tia. Hey.
Hey. What's going on, Jackie?
Oh my God. Well, this pandemic has certainly changed us.
Yeah. By the way, my last name is Rivera.
Oh my God.
It's all good.
Oh my God. And okay, thank you, my love. Oh my God. Yeah, Rivera. Why did I think? I don't know. Anyways, so thank you so much for that. So Tia, you need to let us know where you're from, your background, and how you came to be Tia. Really.
Okay, in short, because it's a pretty long story, but I'm 29 years old. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, originally. Born and raised BK. I'm such a city girl. I'm such a New Yorker. Lived in New York my entire life, and I started dancing professionally straight out of high school. Dance is something that I always liked to do as a kid, but I never really thought that it was something that you could do professionally. No one in my family pursued anything in the arts, at least to the extremity of it becoming a career. You know, I learned salsa in the kitchen, and I learned, dance from my parents. And, my parents are very big on music, especially, salsa and freestyle music. So I grew up around a lot of dance culture, I would say, but it's something that, again, I just like to do as a kid. And I never really thought that it was something that people do for a living. And in high school, I joined this dance team. Again, just a dance team in my high school. And I was like, oh, well, this is fun. And I had actually went and visited this actual dance company with a friend of mine who was in my school. And he kept telling me, like, you need to come check out my crew. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, let me go see what this is about. And I remember sitting there, and the rehearsal was 4 hours long. And I planned on staying maybe for like 30 minutes or an hour. And I sat there for hours just watching and just being like, wow, I didn't even know that this was possible, that people have rehearsal and you can do all these different dance styles. And I was literally blown away. I was exposed to so many different dance styles and just the culture behind professional dance, that it kind of shifted my perspective on what was possible for me. And this was my last year of high school. So I actually went ahead and joined that dance company. It's called KR3Ts. It still exists to this day. KR3T stands for Keep Rising to the Top. And Violet, who was my mentor then, still runs the company today. And that's like the beginning of how my dance career started. And again, it's something that I did after school, and I would do little shows here and there. And then I started to get paid, not much.
How did that start? Because you don't get paid just right away. It's like,
No. So, at first I did a bunch of free shows. There's a lot of like showcases and all of that stuff. And then I remember Violet, we call her V, had a few reggaeton artists and freestyle artists that would come to her for dancers for their shows. So I remember being hired for my first dance job, and it was for this reggaeton artist. I honestly don't even remember his name. It was a club show, and the stage was like 4x4. It was super small, but I remember being so excited because I was like, wow, I can like make money doing this. This is so cool. Because I just did it because I love to do it. I didn't do it even then. I didn't think that it was going to be a career. I enrolled into college. I started going to college. Actually, my major was psychology. Ooh. And my minor was dance. Oh. So, I started getting paid for shows, but it was not a lot, $100, $200. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then, work started to pick up. And my first year of college, I auditioned for this Michael Jackson tribute tour. And this was right after Michael had passed away. And I booked it. And I had to make a decision on whether or not I was going to stay in school or follow my dream. Oh, and thankfully, my parents supported my decision. And I was like, you know what? I want to do this. So I left school. Literally, I was in college for one semester. And then I left to tour, to go on tour, and the rest was history. And I was 20 years old. I was 19. I was 19 at the time.
Wow.
And before this specific job, I did jobs here and there, but it was just, a few $100 here, a few $100 there. It wasn't anything that I thought like, this can be a sustainable career.
Right.
But after this specific job is when I actually got signed to an agency. After this specific job, I went ahead and did this training program that completely changed the game for me as a performer. It's called Motivating Excellence. And one of my really, really great friends to this day and mentors, Rhapsody James, is the creator and founder of Motivating Excellence. And I actually did the first season of it. It's a training program. I was in there for 3 months. This was in 2011. And after that, my career like just really took off. I remember 2011 was the year I got signed to an agency. I did this training program. I booked my first major music video, which was Beyonce's Run the World.
Oh my God.
Video.
Okay.
This was
we have something to say about that. Okay. So, oh yeah, that song. What is it? What is the name of it again?
Girls Who Run the World.
Girls Who Run the World. Oh my God. Okay. So when Tia and I were at WLS, she suggested that we, as a group, do some dancing for our teachers, our mentors there at the leadership. And so she gathered us all around and choreographed for us to dance to that song. Okay, let me tell you, girl.
Like, honestly, it brought me so much joy to watch all of you learn the choreography, because again, for that specific job, I wasn't the choreographer, I was the dancer.
Yeah.
This is when I was just dancing. I wasn't even choreographing yet.
Yeah.
But to see all of you who were just so open and willing and fearless and being like, you know what, we're going to learn this. And we were in the barn and it was late at night. was so great. So much fun.
It was so much fun. I loved it. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So I'm like moving. I'm like, okay, all right, that part, I don't know if I could do that part, but I'm going to try. I mean, you were so good. You were such, you, you stood in your leadership as a choreographer and you commanded the room. And I love that about you. And
Thank
those are traits that are not easy to find. How did you find those traits? I know you've been surrounded by these amazing groups, but
you.
what
Yeah.
specifically is it that allows you to step into that queen that you are?
You know, I feel like there are many things that come into play that help me become the woman that I am today. One, uh, the household that I was raised in, I was raised by a single mom.
Mhm.
So I was raised by someone who displayed leadership and strength and independence, you know. So I had someone to mirror who very much believed in your slogan, Amiga, get your shit together, you know.
Oh yeah.
So I think that that's where it started. Also, being from New York City, a place where, you know, hustle and drive and ambition kind of just runs through our blood.
Mhm.
It's a very fast paced place to grow up in. It taught me a lot about diversity. It taught me a lot about hustle. It taught me a lot about really going after what it is that I want. You
Yeah.
know, they say that if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that, and then, you know, me stepping into this career as a dancer, which I had a very amazing, fruitful career as a dancer. I had experienced so many things at such a young age. And, you know, I knew in my early 20s that I wanted to choreograph. I knew that I wanted to create a direct. I knew that I wanted to step into that leadership role in entertainment. I just waited for my experience to catch up with my dreams.
Wow.
And when
I
it
love
did,
that. I love
and
that.
once it did, my experience as a performer caught up with the dreams that I had, and I was finally ready to transition to choreography. But honestly, Jackie, growing up, I feel like I just always had this fierce Latina leadership thing about me. I remember at family parties, I would get all my cousins together and I'd be like, everybody learn this routine. And they'll be like, okay. And we were like 8 years old and we would go to the room and I would teach them a routine and then we would come out and do it for our family.
Oh, cute, like
And
a
again,
talent show. A talent show. Yeah. Yeah.
literally. And again, it's not something that I ever planned to do. It's just kind of how I always was. And
Yeah.
then thankfully I've been gifted by God these opportunities where I
Into
have been
that.
able to move into the space of leadership with entertainment first and foremost, you know, me transitioning from being a dancer to now choreographer, creative director, but also transitioning into leadership with mentorship. I have my own mentorship class. I mentor people inside of entertainment, outside of entertainment. But I think that, again, my experiences in my life, just growing up, my childhood, me investing in personal development, like you mentioned before, it's a huge thing.
So how did you
Everything that
come,
I
I'm sorry,
learned.
I don't mean to interrupt, but how did you come across personal development that
Personal
just
development.
boom?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Okay. So for me, how I came across personal development, I was 22 years old. And I remember my dad at the time. I lived with my mom majority of my life. Late teenage years, I moved with my dad. Right, we started to build our relationship. I moved with my dad, and when I was 22 years old, my dad had a Super Bowl get together party thing. So I invited a bunch of my friends over. He invited some of his friends, and one of his friends had a son. And I remember, you know, all of us being in the house and his son being like, hey, I want to show you guys something. I want to share with you guys this like opportunity presentation. And we were like, what are you talking about? So he pulls out his laptop and he does this whole presentation, and it was for a network marketing company. And back then I knew nothing about network marketing. I knew nothing about anything outside of dance, you know, outside of dance, it's all I knew. So I remember being like, this is like one of those pyramid things, right? And
Oh, I mean, everybody, yeah, a lot of people think that it is like a pyramid, but that is illegal.
but it's not. It's really not. And I didn't know anything. So again, at first I was like, I don't know about this, but there was something about the way that he carried himself, how he lived his life, that I really gravitated towards. And I was like, whatever that is, like, I want that.
Yeah.
He was driving his dream car and he was happy and he had this like radiance. And long story short, I was like, you know what? Let me give this business a shot, more so for the people that that I would be able to surround myself with. Mm-hmm. I remember going to an event and seeing, people my age, of a few years older than me, making the income that I wanted to make, being the kind of person that I wanted to be. So that company, in short, for me, was a personal development company in disguise. I learned a lot about leadership. I was exposed to books that I probably would have never been exposed to at that age, if I would have been in that company. Like, him at the time, who was my mentor, introduced me to Rich Dad Poor Dad, which I read that, introduced me to Think and Grow Rich, which is another amazing personal development book, introduced me to a lot of the influential books that have changed my life. And it just exposed me to this world of personal development that I didn't even know existed. Mm-hmm. So even after I parted ways with that company, I just had fallen in love with becoming the next best version of myself. Yeah. However that looked. Yeah. And then I stumbled upon Psy because my boyfriend, Sammy, we both have a mutual friend who went to Psy, and he's actually a dancer. Mm-hmm. And, throughout me and Sammy's entire relationship, I've always been big on personal development. I've always brought him to seminars with me. And when he brought Psy up to me, he said, hey, I heard about this company. They have these like classes. And he didn't have to tell me much. I was like, I'm in. Personal development, I'm in. And I'm so happy that I went, because I will say that when it comes to personal development, Psy has changed the game for me.
Definitely.
Hands down.
I can say the same thing because, as you know, I've been a lawyer for 20 years and I had no clue. Like I'm a lot older than you, and I had no clue about personal development. I heard it before, like in a, like, hi, those cuckoos, like just get it together. Why are you even like paying attention? And that was me, talking about it. I'm like talking smack, and I'm like, and then I get exposed to it and I'm like, oh my God, where have you been? Where have you been in my life? And it's been the best thing that has happened for me. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Hands down. Yeah. Same. I'm so happy that you attended WLS the same time I did. Isn't that
divine timing? Yeah.
That's right. Divine time and in divine order, I say. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now you have personal development in your life. Well, you've had it for a long time. And so you are from New York, but now you're in LA. So how long have you been in
that transition happen?
How did that happen?
Yeah. So when I was 23, 24 is when I transitioned, moving to Los Angeles. At the time, I was already starting to pick up work as a dancer. And I remember traveling back and forth for work a lot. And I was just spending so much money on flights. And I was like, girl, you might as well just move there. So I took a leap of faith, no family, no friends. And I moved across the country to follow a dream that I wasn't sure was going to work out. And here I am 7 years later. And God just did what he did. And it's been all uphill ever since I moved to LA. And I love it here. I live in, Studio City in Los Angeles. I've been here for 7 years now. I visit home frequently, but this is my home now.
Yeah. I love that. I'm original. I'm like, what they say from LA. I know there's this, I think Tupac says, LA is the place where the hardcores happen. So I'm like, that's me. That's where I'm from. I mean, obviously born and raised in LA, and I have lived in different areas, but I always come home. This is home now for me, at least. And yeah. I mean, there's Hollywood. So this is where dancing, music videos, everything is done here. Of course, we welcome you. So I'm excited for you. So now I see you on Instagram and you're like, doing your mentorship program. So talk to us about that, your mentorship programs that you are doing right now.
Yeah, of course. So I've always had a passion for leadership, like I mentioned, at such a young age. I just didn't know
Yeah.
what to do with it. And throughout my life and my experiences, I've recently, in my recent years, especially these past few months, I've really been feeling it in my heart that I need to do a mentorship course, that I need to do a mentorship class. And for the past few years, I actually have been putting on performance workshops specifically for the dance community, where there is a personal development portion of this
Mm.
of the performance workshop. So
Yeah.
the performance workshop would be a mock audition, a dance class, and then a business for dancers seminar, where we would go through a bunch of different stuff. But something about this quarantine is actually the quarantine that inspired my mentorship class, and for me to do it now, because it's something that I've always wanted to do. But if I can be honest, Jackie, pre-quarantine, I was busy and blessed and booked and working. So I was like, I'll get to it eventually. And then everything stopped.
Mhm.
And God allowed me the time and the space to do all the things that I said I want to do that I don't have time for.
Right,
And I saw a
right.
bunch of my friends teaching like dance classes and doing different things and helping contribute to people staying sane during this time, especially people in my community,
Yeah.
where I wanted to offer something a little bit different because I've spent so much time and money and energy and effort on personal development. I wanted to create a class that mirrored a responsibility training,
Mm.
that helped people become more responsible for who they are, why they are the way that they are, how they got here, and to take ownership for what their next level looks like.
Right.
We set goals. I have a class on leadership. I have a class on habits. It's 6 classes.
Mhm.
The course is designed 2 weeks, 2 hours per class, 3 classes a week. So it's a total of 6 classes. And during quarantine, I've been able to do 3 of these classes. So I cap it out at 50 students. I've been able to impact 150 lives at this point positively throughout
Wow.
quarantine who have enrolled into the class. And honestly, the testimonies and the feedback is really what keep me continuing to do these classes. Because originally I was just going to do one. I said, you know what? I
Yeah.
have time. Let me do a mentorship course, two
Mhm.
weeks. And midway through that first class, I have people messaging me. My friend is in your class. She said it's amazing. When is your next one? When is this? And I was like, okay, God, I hear you. And I did
Yes.
another one 3 weeks later. And
Amen.
now last week, I just finished up my third class. So it's been great. I'm not having another class until November,
Okay.
but I'm excited to keep it going. I'm excited to continue to give back and pay
Oh,
it forward.
oh, of course. Oh, I so resonate with what you're saying because this pandemic has offered so many gifts. It
Yes.
allowed us to pause, take stock. Where am I? And where do I want to go?
Mm.
And because of I do need to say this. Thank you, Lord. I know that a lot of people are suffering, and I know in my family, some have been afflicted of COVID, but in it, it's our spirit that keeps us alive and keeps us motivated to keep on going and not stay stuck. This
Yeah.
is the time. And so when I decided to do the podcast, I was like, this is the best time because people need to hear positive messaging about God, about spirituality, about chingonas, Latinas, amigas that are stepping up their game just like you. It's incredible. I applaud you. Amiga, I mean, you're going to be so busy. You're going to be like, Jackie, I don't have time for you.
I'll never say that.
But that's incredible. I'm super, super proud. And I know, I'm going to be launching a mastermind, and I would love to have you there to talk to us about, what it takes to be a dancer. That would be amazing. You know, I would love that. You are next level. And I'm just so excited for what's the next thing. What is your next thing? You've been doing the mentorship programs. So I know there's something else brewing in your head. So tell us about it.
So many things. I haven't even scratched the surface. Okay, well, I will say this for entertainment. I feel like I am now walking in my next level. For a long time, I wanted to be a consistent working, reputable choreographer, creative director. And by the grace of God, I am doing that. Even during quarantine, I've thankfully been able to work in my field. Not as frequently, because a lot of things have shut down, but I've shot a few music videos. I actually choreographed a commercial yesterday for Del Taco. We were on set for 2 days. So it's been a blessing to still be able to do what I love in the midst of all of this chaos.
Right.
But aside from rising in my career as a choreographer and creative director, because I still want to do that and rise above even more. It's something I'm very, very passionate about. Eventually, I want to direct.
Yes.
I want to direct things that are dance and non-dance related. Because I love creative direction. So everything from commercials to music videos to live stage and TV is something that I'm looking to do in the future. Also, with my mentorship, when the world is back open, eventually, as opposed to it just being virtually, I want to take the class on the road, and I want to travel and go to different cities and different countries and do weekend workshops. Another thing that I want to do is really enhance my public speaking career. It's something that I'm also very, very passionate about. I know that God didn't just gift me with, sharing my talent and reaching people through movement, but also through my voice. And I hear him so loud and so clear, especially these past few months. So really taking on my public speaking career to another level is something that I look forward to doing as well.
Wow.
All of those things, all of those things combined is
Like,
my next level. And by the grace of God, I feel like slowly but surely I am walking in currently in all of my purpose.
right.
But there's another level to it. I would say if Oprah and J-Lo had a baby, it would be me.
I love that. So you've danced with J-Lo. So I'm always curious, like, how is she?
She's great. Honestly, she's great. She's such a hard worker. She's such a hard worker. And honestly, working with her was a bucket list job for me. It was a dream job.
Yeah.
Being that she's Latina and she's from New York and she started as a dancer.
I know.
She's always been such a huge inspiration for me. So the first time I got to work with her, funny enough, I was direct booked from the choreographer, meaning when you're direct booked, you don't have to audition for the job.
Ooh,
So
nice.
you get an email and they're like, hey, we want to know if you're available.
Yeah.
And I was like dying on the inside. I was like,
Like,
yes. And I remember I didn't live in LA yet. I was in New York and they were like, you have to be in LA or rehearsal would start tomorrow. And then I was scrambling to book a flight. I finally made it to LA, literally off the plane, straight to rehearsal. And our rehearsal was at her house. And then I really died. So here I am, me of only 4 girls, 4 dancers, and we're in J-Lo's house and we're rehearsing. And I was just like, what is my life right now? Like, what is it? It was such a full circle moment. And I've actually been able to work with her on multiple occasions, but that first time was really a full circle moment for me in my career and just like how I grew up in my culture.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, because she's Puerto Rican as well. So this is like more so, right? It's like
from New York.
Yeah, from New York.
Dancer. Yeah.
Everything. That is awesome. That is amazing for you to get to know this woman that you've been looking at her through a TV and just admiring her, and then boom, you're there with her. Whoa. Like that's like chills, right? Like I mean,
I will say this, I always got the question about celebrities, like, what are they like? And how is this person? How is this person? They're just normal people, and I think that us as dancers and performers, we normalize that because we know what it's like to be in the profession. And that's why they keep professionals around who aren't going to be like, oh my gosh, can I take a picture or this or that? Because, they're working.
Yeah.
and we're all working. We're all living in our gifts. We're all doing our job, but they're just regular people, just
Yeah.
like us.
Yeah. I
They've
can.
just been gifted a way larger platform.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're there too, my love. You are there.
And
You are,
I received that.
yes, you are there, my love, and you're going to rise even further and further and further because you got God's spirit in you, and
Amen.
you are at His command, right? And so you're just like, okay, you tell me, where do I go?
Oh, listen, if he doesn't talk, I don't move.
Yeah.
So
Amen.
real.
Amen. Amen to that. Oh my goodness. Ah, as we're wrapping this up, okay, so what what can you share with us about your must-dos every day of your life to get you on peak stake so that you can be Tia, be your best self? What are your tools, your hacks that you'd like to share with us?
Of course. Wow, there's so many, but for the sake of time, if you want all my hacks, enroll into my next class, everyone. My
Hey,
mentorship
and so
program.
we're gonna put it in the show notes about your
Okay.
next class. Yes, yes.
I'm very big on having a morning routine.
Mhm.
I think that taking the first hour of my day for myself sets me up for the kind of day that I want to have. So I wake up, I make my bed, I roll out my yoga mat, I pray first and foremost. I pray to God. I say 10 things that I'm grateful for out loud, and I try to make them different every single day. I start my morning with an attitude of gratitude, just being thankful for being alive while
Yes.
so many people in this world are dying every single day.
Yes.
I woke up and I have another chance to do it right and to do it better. So I pray, I start my morning with gratitude, and then I do visualization. So I have my vision board, I put it down, I meditate, and then I do yoga. And that's a way for me to wake my body up. I do about 10, 20, sometimes 30 minutes of yoga. But I really just take the first hour of my day for me. And on days where things may get a little chaotic, I remind myself that you deserve this time. And
Mm.
when I don't make time for myself, that is me telling myself that I am not worth it.
Yeah.
So morning routine is me working on my worthiness and me working on my own self-love. And then I look at my schedule, my I will list for the day. I don't like to call it a to-do list because to-do lists don't get done. I look at what I will get done, and then I go and I conquer my day. I decide what are the 3 most important things that I need to do for the day. 9 times out of 10, my week is already planned by Saturday. Like the following week, I'm very big on a schedule and filling my days up and just continuing to be a person of my word. I think that that has really helped me and helps me every single day to do all of the things that I set out to do, from working on my physical. I work out almost every day, at least 5 days out of the week. From working out to reading, I'm very big on personal development. Every day I'll read 10 pages, 20 pages, sometimes a chapter of a book that I'm reading. I'm very big on working on every part in every area of my life that needs love, even if it's for 30 minutes or if it's for an hour. And I think that what helps me become every single day is reminding myself, Tia, all you have to do is focus on being the person who does what she said she would do. Just be a
Mm.
person of your word, be a person of integrity. And anyone who knows me knows that I live by those 2 things. I'm very big on integrity and just be a person of your word.
Ooh,
So those
worthiness.
things have really carried me, and those things carry me every single day.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Integrity and worthiness. Booyah. Oh my God. This is why we needed to get you here. This is amazing. I love, 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 love you. Ah, I want
I
you
love
back.
you.
I want you back.
Yes, let's
Maybe
do it.
post COVID. Well,
I
we
know,
have to
right?
of it, but I mean, really, I mean, it's really taken it's taken a lot of serenity, and just releasing and just letting it flow, and knowing that God has us, and we'll be fine. We're gonna be fine. We're always fine.
Yes.
Thank you
Amen.
so much for your
Thank you
amazing
for
words,
having me.
your love, and I'm just like out of this world. So excited. So
Thank you.
thank you. I'm gonna end the recording. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's see. And there, okay, so I gotta go. I love you. You are amazing. There we go. Okay,